In dictyony, that is otherwise called as unisexuality. See, presence of what flaws? No, unisexual flaws. There is no chance for self-pollination. Example, date palm, papaya, that is carica. Next one is dichogamy. Here in dichogamy, in many bisexual flowers, the stamen and carpel do not mature same time. Suppose if they mature same time, there is chances for self-pollination. So, the stamen and carpel do not mature same time. So, what pollination takes place? Cross-pollination takes place. There are two types in dichogamy. First one is protandry. Second one is protogyny. What is meant by protandry? Anther mature earlier than carpel. எது மொதல் மெச்சூர் ஆகும்னா ஆந்தர் தான் மெச்சூர் ஆகும். கார்பலுக்கு முன்னாடி ஆந்தர் மெச்சூர் ஆயிரும். எக்ஸாம்பிள் சால்வியா, சன்ஃப்ளவர், காட்டன், capsella. The next type is protogyny. Here which one mature earlier? Carpel mature earlier than anther. Example, ficus species. Ficus species example, banyan, peepal, fig. Then Saraca indica, that is Ashoka, Aristolochia. Then most plants of cruciferae and Rosaceae family. Then the third one is chasmogamy. What is meant by chasmogamy? Previous class have I explained about chasmogamy. That is opening of floral bud. That is called as chasmogamy. Otherwise it is said to be anthesis. That is opening of floral bud is also known as anthesis. The next one is hercogamy. In hercogamy, there are morphal barriers. What acts as a barrier? The morphological characters act as a barrier that is between the anther and stigma of the same flower. So there is no chance for self-pollination. Only cross-pollination takes place. The morphological barrier, as said, no. That barrier is what? No, that is the pollen grain is unable to reach the stigma. So only what pollination takes place? Cross-pollination takes place. Example, Gloriosa calotropis. Next one is heterostyly. What is heterostyly? That is the difference between the length of the stamen and also the filament of the carpel. What is heterostyly? Difference between the length of the filament of the style as well as the length of the filament of the stamen. See, some plants have, see for example, you take this, some plants have long style and short stamen, and some plants have long stamen and short style. So what happens? The pollen grain cannot reach the stigma of the flower. This is example for this is primrose, linum and primula. Again, I'll repeat about heterostyly. There is a difference between length of the filament of stamen and length of the style in the flowers of some plants. Some plants have long stamen, short style, and some plants have long style and short stamen. So due to this reason, what pollination do not takes place? Self-pollination do not takes place. Only cross-pollination takes place. Example, primrose, linum, primula. Next one is self-sterility or self-incompatibility. Incompatibility na ஒத்து போகாததுன்னு அர்த்தம். Then intraspecific incompatibility. Intraspecific na ஒரே இதை சார்ந்ததாக இருந்தாலும் அது ஒத்து போகாது. அதுதான் intraspecific incompatibility. See, even though the pollen grain falls on the stigma of the flower, it cannot germinate. Yes, that is which takes place in the same flower. So, this is one of the parental characteristic feature. That's by means of, that is genetic. Generation after generation, they get this character from their parents. And it is controlled by genes. Example, petunia, passiflora, grapes, that is vitis, apple, pyrus malus, tobacco, then malvaceae and Theaceae. I'll repeat again about self-sterility, self-incompatibility or intraspecific incompatibility. the pollen grain cannot germinate if it falls on the stigma of the same flower. Why it cannot germinate? Because that is the parental characteristic feature which these plants get generation after generation, and it is controlled by genes. Example, petunia, passiflora, grapes, apple, tobacco, malva and Thaceae. Next one, we'll see agents of pollination. There are two agents, abiotic and biotic. Abiotic, again it is classified into two types, by wind and by water. By wind it is called as anemophily, by water it is called as hydrophily. Among the abiotic pollination, wind is the most common pollination. Next, we will see biotic. Biotic by means of animals. First one is entomophily, pollination by insects. Ornithophily, pollination by birds. Chiropterophily, pollination by bats. Myrmecophily, pollination by ants and termites. Malacophily, pollination by snake. Ophiophily, pollination by snake. Now, first we will see anemophily, that is pollination by wind. The characteristic features of the flowers, plants which are pollinated by wind. Okay, first one we'll see. See, first one, the pollen grains are transferred from the anther to the stigma of the flower through wind. Second one, and these flowers are called as anemophilous flowers. Example, maize and also gymnosperms. Then, see, in this type of pollination, enormous amount of pollen grains are produced. Enormous amount of pollen grains are produced. And see, next one you can see, the pollen grains are very small, light in weight and dry. They are non-sticky in nature. Next we will see about the stigma of these, that is anemophilous flowers. The stigma are large, hairy or feathery or brushy or mucilaginous, that is sticky in nature. See, stigma is sticky in nature, pollen grain is what? Non-sticky in nature, that pollen grains are dry. See, and then these flowers are having well exposed stamens. Next one, and what is meant by this sulfur shower? See, the pinus tree, when they releases the pollen grains, it creates yellow clouds, and this is known as sulfur shower, which is yellow in color. It forms yellow clouds, and that is called as what? Sulfur shower. The next one, this is the flowers of these anemophily are neither attractive nor with fragrance. Attractive irukadhu, adukku smell kadiyadu. Next, absence of what glands? Nectar glands. They do not secrete nectar. The flowers are unisexual, that's male and female flowers are separate. See, loss of pollen grain. While it is carrying by the wind, there is a loss of pollen grain. So previously we have seen these type of flowers produce enormous amount for this reason only. Then next, it's completely non-directional because it is carried by the wind. So it is completely non-directional. Next one, see, only single ovule is found in ovary. And in this type, numerous flowers are packed as an inflorescence. Numerous flowers are packed as inflorescence. Example, corn cob. Example is corn cob. The next one is, this type of pollination is most common in which one? Grasses. It is found mostly in which one? Grasses. Okay. Then this maximum loss of pollen grain takes place only in this type of pollination. Which type? That is a pollination by wind. Okay. Then next one is, example for this is gymnosperm, maize, sugarcane, bamboo, coconut, cannabis, grasses, date palm, papaya, mulberry. Next you can see hydrophily. What is hydrophily? Pollination bring about by water is known as hydrophily. See, pollination by water is rare in flowering plants and it is limited only to about 30 genera and it is mostly in monocotyledons. Hydrophily is of two types, epihydrophily and hypohydrophily. Epihydrophily and hypohydrophily. First one is epihydrophily. You see this figure? See, pollination takes place on the surface of water is called as epihydrophily. I'll repeat again. Pollination takes place on the surface of water is called as epihydrophily. Example, Vallisneria. See, Vallisneria is a dioecious plant, that is, and the flowers are unisexual. Due to busting of inflorescence, the male flowers detach. You can see here, see the male flowers are detached from the mother plant and reach the water surface. Detached from the mother plant, and you can see here it reach the water surface. At the same time, see the pedicel of the female flowers are long and coiled, but during maturity it becomes uncoiled. So the female flower reaches the surface of the water, and what takes place? Pollination takes place. And what takes place? Pollination takes place. Okay, the next one is hypohydrophily. That pollination takes place inside the water and it is called as hypohydrophily. Example, Ceratophyllum, Narges, Zostera, that is sea grasses, and Hydrilla.